What's up, everybody? Welcome to the first Funeral Nation episode of 2019. This is episode 137. I'm Ryan Thogmartin. That is Jeff, the Funeral Commander Harbison. And if you missed episode 136, you need to go to Facebook and watch it. So facebook.com/Funeral Nation TV. And you can watch episode 136, which we did completely off the cuff and live last week because of just some proximity things, and it worked out. So maybe we'll do that more this year.
Yeah, I think it was pretty cool because it was a live show. I mean, so
yeah,
that that certainly caused me to make sure and think before I speak.
That's right.
That's something new for 2019.
There was no 10-second delay. It was live.
It was the real deal. So as we get started, let's throw it out there for Jamie and his crew at C&J. It's interesting. I booked another client today with the Foresight companies that needs accounts receivables training, and C&J is part of that. So you don't get paid, the funeral ain't over.
What payment method do you prefer families use for your goods and services? Most funeral homes and cemeteries prefer cash check or credit card over life insurance as the preferred method of payment. However, families who use life insurance are able to purchase the funeral service of their choice and spend 31% more on your goods and services. By encouraging more families to pay with insurance, you can create a better experience for the family and become more profitable without increasing your call volume. The reason most firms prefer cash check or credit card over life insurance is that insurance companies are a hassle to deal with, and payment can often take weeks or months to receive. With C&J Financial, you can receive funding within 24 hours of verification of benefit, thereby eliminating the hassle, headache, and cash flow delay in processing insurance death claims. Let us show you why hundreds of funeral homes all across America choose C&J for their assignment funding needs, and why many associations, accounting firms, and industry leaders recommend C&J to their clients and members.
So Ryan, we're starting out 2019. We kind of gave some predictions on our last show, but I think it would be really interesting to talk about what we see needs to be done this year to better our profession. So you had a nice little rant at the end of the year. I watched it. Let's start that conversation in that direction. What do you see that we could do better and has to be done this year?
Relationships have to be a conversation with marketing content, period. We do too much trying to cram just a brand down the consumer throat. And even from the supplier level to funeral directors, we're throwing brand, and we're never talking about the relationship. And let's be honest, funeral directors say 80% of their business is relationship driven. If 80% of your business is driven by relationships, how can you ignore the value of a relationship in marketing? And so for me and Disrupt, that is going to be a primary topic of 2019 on how to deliver content that will build a relationship, which 80% of your business is relationship driven. So that bodes well for new at-need or pre-need volume, as well as 90.4% of consumers only shop 0 to 1 funeral home. So if they have a relationship with you, there's a 90% chance that you're going to get that call in an at-need or pre-need discussion. So relationships.
Yeah, and part of that relationship development, as you well know and we discussed, is the personal brand.
Mm-hmm.
The building is a funeral home. Your people are the brand. And it's not just the owner, it's everybody in there. So
that's right.
Making an effort to be more personable to the community that you're serving, that they get to know you better. Again, I've talked about it lots. Our friend Ellery brought this up once, but the election has people over here has decided, people over here has decided. You're after the ones in the middle that are undecided.
That's right.
How do you develop a relationship with them if you don't know them? Social media is a great start.
Jeff, for the Foresight companies, what is going to be that message that you guys are pushing this year that's going to come out at the forefront?
Well, it's similar to what you're talking about. We have Dan Dessard, Doug Gober, Stephanie Ramsey, Kevin Kruger, myself, we have well over 100 years of funeral home operational financial experience. Dan is the most trusted voice in the funeral business. If you don't know Doug Gober, you haven't been in the funeral business. Okay. So if funeral homes have taken the time to work in their communities to develop trust and reputation, if that's important to you, that's what we do.
Yeah.
Our clients trust us and they pick up the phone because of our reputation. My concern for this coming year is we still don't get it. There are firms out there that believe that pricing is only for competitive purposes with the guy down the street. They're feeling pressure unduly from the low-cost people. And, I mean, a quick way to look at it is if your basic services fee is less than your immediate cremation, you have a problem.
That's right.
Okay?
That's right.
Busiest funeral home in town is generally not the cheapest.
Yep. And that's interesting. You know, we touched on transparency last week, and I think transparency is a part of relationships. So this all kind of goes together. But I had a great call this morning with a client about ad strategy where we talked about transparency and pricing is not a race to the bottom. Transparency and pricing allows you to establish a deeper relationship and show value versus a race to the bottom, which is going to do absolutely the opposite of that. So, yep, transparency for me would be something that has to change, and we're seeing it with hospitals, right? January 1, hospitals have mandated that they have to have surgery pricing posted on their website, which, look, I don't like anything mandated by the government. So let's not go that far and say that the government needs to mandate it. Let's just say if we want to really build relationships and be transparent, then pricing is part of that equation.
Yeah, you know, and funeral home owners and directors have gotten in their head that the competitors that are low cost are winning. They're simply aren't.
That's right.
I said time and time again, if they were winning, there wouldn't be any funeral homes open in the country.
That's right.
Just look at consumer behavior. The cheapest cars aren't the ones that are being driven, and not everybody shops at the Dollar Tree.
That's right. Well, I mean,
looking for value.
Absolutely.
One of the issues I believe is that we, as funeral professionals, we don't believe in what we have, right? If you believe in what you're offering, the service, the value, we always say, oh, yeah, well, we give the best service, right? How do you know? You haven't even been to competitor services at all. I love that. But the point being is, for us this year at Foresight, it's going to be the people, our experience, you trust, just like it should be with funeral homes.
Absolutely.
Now, we've got some big events we always have this year. You'll be participating in ICCFA as well as NFDA.
Yep.
What about some of the other things that you guys are going to do there at Disrupt?
We're going to be in Iowa. We're going to be in Florida for a couple events. We will be in actually Idaho to speak at a couple events. So, you know, all over the place. But, you know, some of the things we're working on here, we're expanding our team substantially and building out our video department a little bit more. And we will be rolling out 2 add-on services that play directly with social media that don't exist, that are going to be pretty fun. And one has to do with brand building on the personal level. So I'm really excited about that.
Good. Let's take a quick break here. We need to talk about, you know, brand building and ideas and taking care of your clients. It's our friends at Kraken. They have those tentacles that are out there. We spent some time here at our office just yesterday working with them on the backside from the accounting piece. Folks, there's nothing like it. It's not out there. Transferring your information into QuickBooks is one thing. Getting full service and power is another. So go ahead and roll their promo.
Ever hear the quote, "One of the biggest problems with communication is the assumption that it happens"? We all know that good communication makes for good teamwork. So how can you be sure things are clear with your team? One example of how Kraken helps you communicate with your team, you can easily assign, schedule, and notify team members that they've been assigned to an event. This way, team members are always in sync and no detail is ever miscommunicated. The better your communication, the more productive your team will be. Tips like these can free up your time so you can spend more time with your families. Learn more about Kraken's productivity and efficiency tools at kraken.net. How will you spend the time you save?
Let's get cracking.
You know, I can't think of Kraken without thinking of a pistachio. Just because you crack a pistachio open. Remember those commercials where, I saw them on Facebook a lot. They had a pistachio and then
psychiatry office and ask you a few other questions, and that's what you're thinking about.
all right, okay.
Cowboy boots. I don't know. So, going back to what's going on with our businesses this year, I believe that education and training can solve everything we have out here, not just education, but the training. Mm-hmm. So the Foresight companies, in fact, you're going to put this out for us shortly. We're going to have 3 seminars in the spring. We typically have those year round. But bottom line is, folks, y'all got to get a grasp on your business. Human resources, number one item on your P&L, and you can get sued quicker from an employee than you would messing up something at a crematory.
Oh, wow.
Much more likely to happen.
Yeah,
right?
That's exactly right.
The business side. So we're going to be announcing some alliances this year that are unexpected. We're really excited about it. And as we go to these new ventures and alignments, you'll see us at the major shows promoting those.
Absolutely.
So any fun predictors about the end of the year for you?
Fun predictors. I think that we are going to see some things that have nothing to do with the funeral space have weight and affect the funeral space. One of those we talked about this week on Connecting Directors with the tariffs. There's no way around that. We've got a couple supplier clients that we work with where the tariffs have been a part of a conversation on, when they're looking at budgeting, and it's, there's a question mark unknown of what's going to happen there. And I think that could have a dramatic impact on not only, a lot of the product that we buy, but specifically there's a good chunk of the product that we get from China for the funeral space. So I think that could have some impacts.
Yeah, it's every business. It's literally every business. It's not just caskets, it's urns. Hey, you know what? It's car parts, just your clothes, your cloth, your paper goods.
All of it.
Oh, yeah. And these things.
That's right.
Yeah, they're made overseas, but I'm not buying anything but American made. Hang up your phone then. Quit looking at anyway. I gotta leave that.
Okay. Well, we're getting off the beat. What about you? I mean, what do you see as another topic that we got to be aware of?
I'm seeing that we're this year going to have basically where a totally unexpected wall is going to be thrown up that we've talked about, and it's going to blow up beyond just messing up with the FTC investigation or something else. I think that there's so many bad practices, not bad people, but bad practices that our industry is in for in 2019, a rocking bad black eye. And that could be anywhere from, again, losing bodies, cremating the wrong bodies, lawsuits, picket. It's coming because we just don't pay attention to the things we need to do.
Well, there hasn't been always a bunch of eyeballs on the funeral space either. And now everybody's got eyeballs on it because everyone's transparent on social media and we share everything. So the ability to spread information or for something to come to light is far more prevalent now, like it is everywhere. But you're exactly right. There's a lot more attention being put on the funeral space because it's one of those industries that's really been kind of flew under the radar for a long time, and now there's a lot more attention being put on it.
Yeah, I agree. So real quickly, let's talk about our new sponsor.
Yeah, he's been a guest. He's been a guest on the show.
Huh?
He's been a guest on the show as well.
Yeah, we're a client of Welton's here at the Foresight Companies. He's done a fabulous job in helping us elevate our SEO. And he's just an all-around good guy, too. He has impeccable taste with restaurants and a connoisseur. I spent some time with him down in New Orleans. I don't know why he's able to eat so much and look like that, and I have to eat lettuce and Metamucil starting out the beginning of the year.
Because he's feeding his brain, which is so big, and it takes a lot of. Well, I'll just stop there.
Yeah, only thing I'm putting anyway.
Anyways, yeah, just keep going. All right.
Anyway, let's go ahead and run this promo.
We're Ring Ring Marketing. We help funeral homes generate at least 10 more at-need calls per month. Our techniques help you dominate local search rankings and become the top choice for services in your area. We also proudly offer a 100% money-back guarantee. For a free copy of our book, visit www.funeralhomeprofits.com.
All right, Ryan, just real quickly as we finish up, how about something personal, fun, or a goal this year for you?
Oh, wow. For me personally, this is fun. I just kind of went through this exercise with my wife and a couple of close friends of mine and a mastermind group. I really want to do more personal development this year. I get a lot of joy out of reading, but strategic reading and being taught from people that are way smarter than I am. And I did an interview that we're going to release on a podcast towards the end of last year where the guy I was interviewing said that, he wants to try to be in situations where he's not the smartest person in the room. And don't take that in a pompous way, but surrounding yourself with people that are smarter than you, know things that you don't, to try to elevate you personally. So, for me, one of my personal goals this year is to just develop and grow as a person, as a human being, as a business leader, as a family leader, as a Christian, just personal growth all the way around to where I can just be a completely better human being. I've got a passion for that. And then my wife and I have some goals of some charity things that we want to do this year and achieve. Each year we set some goals on things that we want to do because we both have, she has a much bigger giving heart than I do. And so she lets me live out my dream of running a company and living on the edge all the time. So, we try to combine some of those goals that she has. And so from a charity aspect, we're excited about some of the things that we're going to be able to do this year.
Awesome.
What about you, my man? Personal goals for other than keeping that amazing 12-month tan?
Yeah, that'll continue. My goals are similar to yours. I have some professional development things that I'm working on. Working around Dan Assard and Doug Gober, you always learn something new. So I'm elevating that side of the game as well as some educational points from a professional development end. Personally, absolutely have to make sure I can get my golf game handicap down below 10.
There you go. That's awesome.
Already booked and looking forward to some really cool personal travel trips this year, which will enhance my tan because I don't go anywhere cold unless I'm forced to do so.
Maybe that should have been one of my personal goals is that we record an episode where my tan is deeper than yours.
Not unless you're in a retort. Ain't going to happen.
Well, I think it's awesome for you. Like, there's not very many times you can be in a room and not have the biggest ego. And I would say that you're probably number 3 on the list when you look at Doug and Dan.
Isn't that the truth? In fact, when Doug came on board, it had already happened when I came in. We actually had to put double doors into buildings just so we can fit all of our egos in at the same time.
I love it. Man,
pipe
in oxygen.
Yeah, I say this. I heard it from a elder statesman in our business that in order for you to have an opinion, you have to be relevant. We have a lot of opinions and a lot of relevancy here. So,
yes, you do. Yes, you do.
All right, bro. Well, let's wrap this thing up. Next week, we'll be back. I have a feeling we'll have a really great guest next week. So until then, I'm out here in Phoenix.
Have a great effing week.
Take care.
Get your ass up and slip in.